And welcome back to Kootenai Bonsai. It's what, first week of November here. I managed to pick up this bird's nest spruce. They call it a Norway spruce, or Pichia nidiformis. Got this one at a sort of a greenhouse sale. It was $12, and I thought, wow, often I'll pay $10, $12 for a little teeny little juniper. This species is an elongating species, as it's sometimes categorized, and I thought I'd give it a little trim and see if I can turn it into a bonsai. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it out of its pot, put some perlite, a bunch of perlite down there with a teeny bit of soil in there, and then pop it up so I can see the base of the tree, and start picking a front. You really want to make sure there isn't a whole bunch of moist soil down here that can collect water, and the moisture won't get drawn up from the roots. So that's why I'm going to use just a mostly perlite, really aerated bottom. I also don't want it to grow much down there, because as I need to turn to bonsai, I'm going to bring it up. Just give you sort of a view of it. These bird's nest spruces, they grow really dense and down. So we'll see how that goes. So where do you start with a bonsai like this? It's just dense. I mean, how do you even know where to get in there? What I've done is I've started to kind of clear out this side, give you a sense of how I start on this process. You might be able to see in here now. I'm getting a lot of room in here. Start to kind of see some of what I can do as I clear out. And the camera's not showing it so good. But after clearing out the pot, you can see if there's probably dirt up to there. So it took off pretty decent base. And then when I felt in there, there's two major branches. You can really see it there. So I'll have to decide, is that going to be two different trees, or am I eventually going to cut one? Right now I think it is just going to be two different trees, but I got to get in there right now. This is where talking about objective bonsai, which I got that term from Ryan Neal at Mirai Bonsai. His stuff's just amazing, so I just recommend watching his BSOP series. They're super phenomenal. You learn tons. But what he talks about is objective bonsai, and because you can get stuck on a bonsai. Like, where do I start? So especially something like this, where there's so many branches, and you can just get paralysis. It's kind of like writer's block. You don't know where to start. I felt like I had that for the last little bit. I just haven't wanted to trim any trees. Kind of got in this stuck phase, and you'll notice that. And that's where you have to just get in there. And what I like to do is say it's me learning. It's me learning my art. It's me trying to perfect my skills, and versus me trying to come up with a good bonsai. So this is a perfect example. I spent $10 on this thing, and it's time for me to practice using my objective bonsai, practice wiring, practice getting in there. And so when you talk about objective bonsai, you have to just kind of dive right in there. And you'll find there's all of this little stuff that you can just start pulling out. There'll be little whorls where multiple branches are coming out, and there'll be one that's really thin. You'll want to take that. So you can look at proportions of the trunk to the branches. So you might find there's some really thin ones coming off the main trunk, or off one of these branches, too thin. So you can just go ahead and chop that. Or if there's massive crossing branches, and all this needles and foliage right at the very base, I'm going to want to take all that out, as I'm going to want to make clusters and branching. Now you have to be careful, because I am going to want to pull it in a bit as well, so I'm going to have to chop these back. So you do have to be careful. You don't want to just start hacking in there, but that's where that objective part can come in. You can clean out all the inside, all these dead needles, right? I can just start pulling them all off, and then all of a sudden I start to see stuff in there. And I notice the two trunks, and then I'm going to have to pick a leader off of one of them. I'm going to want to make probably a taller one and a smaller one, so one's going to get cut back a lot. The other piece when thinking about cutting these back here, you know, these are all really nice developed buds. They'll all shoot next year. But you can see you have this really long internode here without any buds on it. So, you know, that's not really what you want. It's the same thing here. So, but if I cut here, this whole branch is dying. So you have to kind of look back and go, where are the little internodes, right? And so, you know, something like this year you might go, oh, this is too much of it. But you might end up leaving something like this, cutting all this back because it's too long. The internodes are too far in between to really get that ramification. You know, but I'm also not going to want to cut too much of this. You know, it is spring right now, or I'm sorry, it is fall right now, and normally you'd want to prune in the spring. And the reason I think that is, it's actually, they say just before the buds are, like, so when they really start to swell, before they shoot out, you'd prune. And I think that is so that the plant can actually repair the wounds that have been caused by the pruning. So they say spring and fall, and you know, now it's November, so this is more like winter and dormancy. So this one's actually going to go inside, and that'll hopefully, I'm going to put it by a really sunny window, but it'll reactivate its growth cycle. Hopefully it can repair some of the wounds that I've caused by all my trimming. But like I said, this is a lot of this is just practice for me, and this is a perfect tree because I got to make tons and tons of decisions. You know, and I'm constantly looking for these little buds as I'm trimming back to see where I want to trim back to. See, I might even want to get to this kind of stuff, leave maybe this, and leave those, and then trim all this outside out. But yeah, so I just wanted to give you an idea of how to get in there, and you know, there's that. Like I said, I see it as like a paralysis in your art's development. I imagine most artists will go through this, and they just stop producing. And they, you know, as part of it for me was, I want to make really nice bonsai. I want to make it look really good. And you know, I'm only 9 months into my practice, and into my art, and I just need way more practice. So a tree like this, where I can spend $10 and it's, you know, super hardy, gives me tons of time to practice pruning, making decisions, and going at it. So I'll give you a video and an update as I get closer to its final product. Well, here's the tree all done. You know, learned a lot. This is the sort of the front I've chosen. Might be a little bit dark with the background, but you know, I've also ended up, it's funny, you get it done and then you look at it at different angles, you think, wow, that's actually a nice front too. So you know, one of the things I learned from doing this one, you always want to ask yourself, what are you learning, is I didn't step back enough when I was designing the tree. And you can see the silhouette of the tree is a strange sort of silhouette. I ended up bending this branch quite a bit up, and before it was down, I think that might have been better. I have been, you know, I was thinking just, I don't know if you'll be able to see, maybe I'll, you know, maybe it'd be better with that whole section gone. You can see you get a better silhouette. You can kind of get a triangle shape going. If I wanted, maybe I could pull those back a bit or curve them in. So that might be something for me to think about, is pull. So here's the end product of my tree. You know, as I said before, I thought I was done with it, but I realized, you know, I didn't like the overall shape. So before it was much flatter and indistinct, and you know, that was one of the things that I realized one of the things I learned. Every time you do a bonsai, you want to ask yourself, okay, what have I learned about bonsai? What have I learned from my work? And so for me, one of the things was getting the outside shape, you know, having an image of the kind of outside shape that I want. So now you see I have a triangle here, And it's pretty symmetrical. There's a little bit out this way, which kind of carries you a bit this way, and then the apex is off to the side. And normally you'd have the longer side and the apex off to one side so that the whole movement of the tree is in one direction. This one's kind of left and then pulls you back to the right, so you can see the shape of the triangle. It's a little longer out here. But yeah, before I didn't even have an image of the tree, so when I was done I was like, why does that not quite look right? And I realized, okay, it doesn't have a shape, doesn't have a shape like a tree. So then I redesigned it here to have that. One of the other things I learned too is, I didn't, after I had kind of cleaned it out, I kind of just started wiring and trimming and moving branches, and I got right into it. And again, it's just stepping back and going, okay, what's the outside image I want? How do I create that? And so, do I want pads, and where are those pads? And so right now, I'm hoping, as time goes by, these things will fill out and get a little more dense. As you can see, they're fairly sparse right now. This can fill out a bunch more. I created much more dead wood off to the side, and I may take that off at some point. But for now, it's just how it is. The other thing that I think I really learned about this time is after you clean up the tree and kind of decide on a kind of shape that you might want, like an exterior shape, then look for certain features in the tree that you want to highlight. So I didn't do that with this tree. So, I really like this line here, coming up here. I really liked that line, but I didn't highlight that. One of the things I wanted to hide was some of this bulging in here and the sort of double trunk or double sort of trunks coming out. But I didn't focus on, okay, what do I really want to highlight here? Maybe I wanted to highlight tons and tons of deadwood, so I could have made much more deadwood out there. But I didn't see that. So I think some of the things I learned is, you get your tree, you clean it up, and then you say, okay, what's the shape? What kind of shape? Do I want it to be, cascading down with little triangles, big triangles? Do I want a sort of a broom style shape? There's a literati with these really fine lines. And then the other thing is looking at the tree and going, okay, what are the features that I really want to highlight? And I was kind of in the mindset of, okay, what are the features I want to hide? But I need to be thinking next time, okay, what are the features that I really want to highlight in tree? What's unique about this tree? And like I said, I think some of it is this really big line here would have been something, and then possibly more deadwood, creating some more deadwood out of here and having this sort of interaction of deadwood and live wood. The other thing I learned is, I had a lot of back budding on this now. So when I look at this tree, I go, okay, that's nice, but it's too far. It's too wide. I would want it actually a little smaller, a little more compact in there. Especially that will bring out the perceived size of the trunk, and that would make it look much older. And so while I was working on it, I ended up clearing out some of the inner branches that were coming off here. I think, if I were to do it again, I would pull back these front branches and keep those ones. And this is just the lessons learned. You can never get that back. And there was lots of back budding. You can see these. That's really nice. Let's see if we can get this to zoom in. Yeah, it's not really picking those up. Anyways, those are new buds that have really started to shoot out. So that's been great to see, because these buds, wasn't sure how it was going to do. It did take a lot off, so it's nice to see that they're growing strong. So yeah, this is the end image of the tree here. About this is where I really wanted it to go. But there's other parts to the tree. You have some unique things happening in here. You can see the angle now is changed, the perception of it. You see the apex is on the right and the long branches off to the left, so it pulls you both directions at the same time. But there's some nice deadwood features in these parts of the tree I kind of like. So in the future I may change the design somewhat. But right now I'm actually quite happy about it. Pretty happy with the way of the tree. So that's my front there.